Hello, everyone. Welcome to Microsoft Community Insights podcast, where we share insights from community experts to stay up to date in Microsoft. I'm Nicholas. I'll be your host today. In this episode, we'll dive into zero trust in Azure. And but before we get started, just remind us to follow us on social media so you never miss an episode. And today we have a special guest called Santosh Kumar. Could you please introduce yourself?
Hi everyone. Hi Nicholas. Thanks for having me. I'm Santosh.
My
I'm
pleasure.
Santosh Kumar. My name is so lengthy. You can call me Santosh. My full name is Santosh Kumar Anandakrishnan. I'm based out and living in Melbourne, and basically from India in southern part of Chennai. And I'm hold my Azure MVP networking and security one. My specialty and skill set relies on infrastructure, cloud, security with both public and hybrid cloud. That's me.
Okay. So before we dive into the main theme of this episode, we just want to get to know a bit more from guests. So, Santosh, can you tell us what where you work and who you are?
Yep, sure. As I mentioned, I'm based out in Melbourne. I'm just doing some I work for a company, my own company called Skyline Technology, which I'll do basically on the consulting with my professional clients and just get them to understand, migrate, and adapt cloud technologies in Azure Cloud. That's my key focus area. So that's predominantly it's all working with the client to understand their requirement, convert that into a business requirement into a technical one, and just implement them for them and bring them into the transition into the phase of cloud.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you're like a consultant.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
consultant. Yeah, treat me as a consultant. Yeah, correct.
Okay, so what's your typical day like, Santosh?
Oh, yeah. It differs, right? So it's mainly be into the customer face, adapt to their requirement, get that into translate into your technical acumen, and making sure you capture all their requirement and present back to them with the different solutions and adapt that as part of their architecture thing, and mainly create some diagrams, work with them to get the documentation and present back to them with the ideas and solutions, which we'll making sure it's been part of security, it's part of their requirement, everything translated back into the solution. Yeah, it's been on and off. Yeah, that's what it is. As a consultant, as an architect, you just be on toes on every day.
Okay. What are some of the most interesting projects that you've done so far as your consultant, as your role?
I've done multiple things. Like the recent one I can pick it up is for Azure Identity B2B.
Yeah.
I have a done on B2B. I have done on B2C as well, and more on Azure migration from on-premise to cloud, making sure from the start of the client starting from just new to as a fresh as a greenfield setup, I would say, not a fresh,
Yeah.
it's a greenfield setup, starting from a client where they will just want to have their migration back from on-premise hypervisor back into Azure cloud, starting from networking connectivity back migration of thing. Those are the recent one I have done at the moment, that I can think of at the moment now, at least. Yeah.
Okay. So someone like, for example, migrate from like on-prem to Azure itself and lots of like greenfield projects and stuff,
Yeah.
migrations. Okay.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So moving ahead, today's theme is zero trust.
Yeah.
To get for those who no idea what zero trust, do you want to explain what zero trust in Azure and why is it important?
Oh, yeah. Pretty much. See, zero trust, it is a security strategy. It's not a product or a service. I just want to make
Yeah.
sure clear. Some people just think it's a service which is available, you can consume it. No, it's not a product or a service. It is a security strategy which any organization needs to adapt. The reason they want to adapt is like if you look at the recent Microsoft has published 2024 statistics, which says that the threat attackers tracked by Microsoft in 2024 has been 300. In 2024, it has become 1500. The number shows that how big the threat attackers has been growing with this latest digital landscape with AI coming in play. It has increased 5 times actually. The speed and scale it is attackers are getting more, cyber attackers happening is more. To have this digital modernization with the dynamic approach currently is happening across the globe with organizations like productivity anywhere, anyone can work from anywhere. It's not
Yeah.
restricted. You come to office, it's no more, it's gone. You work from anywhere, making sure the device is authenticated and it's been secure. You can work from anywhere. And the second thing, as I mentioned, the cloud migration, the digital transformation is happening across the globe with cloud, with modern workplace and 365. So these things makes the zero trust has been kind of today's organization needs a new security model which effectively adapts to the complexity of what the trend has been changing. So the three things I would say in the zero trust is productivity anywhere, cloud migration with the digital transformation, and the last one is you how quickly you mitigate your risk. These are the three things. In addition to that, right, zero trust helps you with the three principles. It works in the three principles like always verify explicitly.
Yeah.
Second is assume the breach, making sure you restrict the lateral movement. And the third one is least privilege access. With that has been implemented, you can have more privatizing your data. It won't get into the cyber attack as quick as possible. That way, you can be most authenticated, authorized, and continuously validating your devices and identities and organizations can implement that way, which gives you the greater confidence to making sure the right people with the right device and it is not goes into the cyber attackers. That's how it has to be in that way.
Okay.
Um,
How
we,
would someone
yeah,
how would someone start like zero trust, implement zero trust in their organization? Do they have to
yeah,
start it from ground up when they want to embed
yeah.
security in the project and stuff, or do they just can they start in the middle?
See, what happens is in the earlier to zero trust, right? Organizations will be thinking like with lateral knowledge, saying that everything behind the firewall has been protected. It's not that
Yeah,
way. It is no more. The zero trust assumes that inside risk management as well. What does it mean is anyone within the organization can be a risk for the data for the devices.
yeah,
So you have to do in both ways. So you have to start from the fresh, and it has to be part of your culture. And security is not just one person's job; it is everyone's within the organization as a project. It has to be the culture change. That's the first thing. And the second thing, what I want to say is the zero trust is a strategy. So I want to put a picture to understand for everyone. Like, take an example. You are in a library or a museum. Okay, so when you are in library and museum, how do you consider that zero trust is? I want to put it in layman terms so that it can be easy to understand. As a librarian in olden days or in the later days, you trust anyone who comes into the library is making sure they are coming to read a book, to access some device or get some information. In zero trust model, you have to treat everyone in to be has been holding a library card, making sure they have the valid identity card to make sure they are verified. That makes the
yeah,
zero trust first principle gets validated. That's a layman term. The second thing is the least privilege access. Library will have different sections, right? For kids, they have books within their underage. There'll be some rare archivals which can be used for historical information. So you have to segregate that. That way, you can just have your least privilege access. The last one is assume the breach. You have to make sure you have right access to a right person, and like you have to have your security cameras or something to making sure it has been captured, and you have some information on that. As going back to where do we start it has to start from the start of your project. You have to make sure it has been captured, the security has been responsible of everyone. It has to start from the development. Some people when I am interacting with some people, they say, okay, in the development side we just have very less security. In the prod we just do more security. No, that's not it. Has to be, it has to be from the start, because if you have any change you make it in the production, you might break up something, so you may not able to fix it in the last minute. So it has to start from the day of the development of the POC, where you have something as a start to the fresh, then it has to be carried forward towards till it goes to production.
yeah,
That way it makes life easy.
yeah. So it's best way to start it when you start a new project from ground up.
Yep,
And
exactly.
yeah, and it's similar to like for example. DevOps itself, because DevOps is all about culture, and security
Yeah,
is about culture of working together as one team and get to
exactly.
know.
That's it. That's correct. It's a culture change. It has to be culture change in the organization, making sure it's responsible to everyone, not just one security team which sits behind everyone to
Yeah.
just chase it up. Correct.
Okay. So, what are some of the best practice that you've seen in your experience of how would you of people organization that implement
See,
zero trust in organization?
yep. So zero trust has, at least I would say, five pillars.
Yeah.
One thing is the identity. Even though we have three principles, there are five pillars: identity, data, application, interaction, and network. These are the five core pillars of it, actually. So each pillar has to have its own services and technology to combination of it. Like, say, for example, in identity and devices, as part of Entra gives you a vast future of services can be combined and used it, like Entra ID governance, which can protect you from accessing your devices, making sure it's been restricted, only verified, the device which is compliant, making sure they get access. And it has something called Entra permission management services, which always makes sure that it does give access only to specific people on specific time, and so it's kind of just in time access. That way you just restrict your access. And coming back to the network, you have to make sure you have a network segmentation for your application. Each application has to have their own landing zones. It has to have their own network. All the network has to have the traffic inspection has to be make sure it has been firewall. It can be an Azure firewall. It can be anything which you use as part of your vendor specific. It has to make sure all the traffic comes in and when it's out, it has to be verified. On the data side, making sure everything has been data encrypted, and use on the application side, make sure it's in end-to-end TLS encryption. Start from the a workload in the backend, and in the front end, you just make sure you have something like in layer 7, like application gateway at the front door with the WAF, with the web application firewall, making sure application on the layer 7 to layer 3 has been protected. So that way, these are the first things to making sure it start in the principles way, which aligns
Okay.
towards Azure as well.
Yeah.
Security by default is what the simple terms everyone says it, but you have to make sure it is security by default.
So, is there any challenges that from implementing a wrong zero trust that didn't implement it correctly? Is it just the communication between different teams?
See, there is not wrong way I would say, but people will try to make it that design doesn't adapt the zero trust technology. Like,
Yeah.
you have to make sure everything is been verified. So, say for example, right, you have a virtual network in Azure, and you have
Yeah.
three subnets within a virtual network, and you make sure every subnet traffic between one subnet to another subnet within the virtual network. Some people say we no need to verify it, but what happens is in a later moment, say you got some malware or phishing in one of your virtual machine or database somewhere in the one subnet. What happens if you don't have us explicitly verify that traffic between two subnets within the virtual network? It carry forwards to other thing. So you have to make sure it has been isolated and you stop the lateral movement. That is a one big thing which I seen in the recent with customers and clients. So they say, okay, that's okay. It makes more congested. That's fine, but you have to make sure your performance has been second thing and security comes in the first. Yeah,
Okay.
that's the
So,
thing.
since you mentioned that in order to fully know zero trust in Azure, you need to know the pillars, the five pillars.
Yep.
I guess we if someone were to learn identity, network, security, and be proficient in five of them, would they be more of a better position to implement a good zero trust system?
Yes, they just need to have some knowledge. Say, for example, zero trust team, right? It should be a combination of different SMEs. Not everyone can be a jack of everything.
Yeah.
So you have to have the team the right way. It's structured with identity, network, and data and application. So once you have that combination, you can making sure you protect your identities, devices, making sure you protect and isolate the application, making sure it's not been for a little moment, and protect your networks. Make sure you have a firewall. You have, yeah, in and outbound has been verified. So you need to have a combination of team of people with SMEs to making sure that's been captured.
Okay, yeah. So you have to work with different teams
Different
with
team. Yeah.
yeah, data, identity, security teams. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I guess one of the drawback could be the miscommunication between teams in projects that people have. And in
Yes.
order to get something right, yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Okay, so from your experience, what does a good, like a perfect zero trust mean? Does it mean meeting all the pillars or doing it well that made it to standard for Microsoft?
Yes, yes. Microsoft has something called Secure Future Initiative, which has been
Yeah,
started in November 2023, which gives you an information about how do you do a security by culture and governance, security
yeah,
by design, security by default, and secure your operations. So you have to start that adaptation from the start one. So set your priorities, measure the progress. So even though you have five pillars and three principle, that three principle and five pillars has to be verified across each pillars. So set your priorities. How do you want to make sure the six pillars or the five pillars or objectives to focus on your zero trust and measure your progress. And as I mentioned earlier, you have to align the culture. The security culture has to be part of the organization, the team. So then the third part is security as a governance. So you have to have your strong SecOps team, which has been monitoring and adapting your logs and stuff like vulnerability management, threat protection. These are the three things I would say to start. Set your priorities against your pillars, against your zero trust principle, and align the culture and within the team and organization. And the third thing is strengthening your security governance. And that way you can protect. If you don't have that right setup like SecOps monitoring or security monitoring for threat protection and vulnerability management, which you can't see, you can't protect. That's a simple way they say, right? If you can't see anything, if you can't
yeah.
view a resource, you can't protect anything, and you'll be missed out. It won't be in your ladder at all.
Okay, yeah. I guess
Yeah.
in order to, in that terms, you have to visually see what's like simply on a portal before you can protect something.
Oh, sorry, come again. Was it the same thing?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, correct. If
yeah,
you need to make sure everything has been captured, everything
yeah.
within your radar, and if you miss something, then you lose something, and you are not monitoring it regularly, and that might be a threat as part of that missing piece of the resources that can inflate into your environment of the network.
That's amazing. What are the How would you someone get started in zero trust and learning about it? Is it just the Microsoft documentation, or is it through what are the best resource that you'd use in
Oh
order to
yes,
learn that?
Microsoft Learn has a very good documentation about zero trust implementing, and it helps you to whatever I spoke about, like network segmentation, firewalling, WAF, and layer 7. Right, it has detailed information about how do we start it and what other resources can be used and consumed, and how it can be practical guidance. It has to be practical guidance instead of what we speak about. It's all the strategy way. But Microsoft Learn has document which has been helpful for you to have a starting of to how to implement like. And in addition to that, right, cloud adoption framework has by default security by principle is security by default is being captured as part of CAF as well. So the CAF plus the zero trust documentation as part of zero Microsoft Learn document will help you to kickstart for someone who want to be the initial front runner of the zero trust principles.
That's brilliant. So as this episode is coming to an end, we always love to get to know a guest. So Santosh, I saw you're quite active in the community. Do you want to go into some of the amazing community work you've done?
Oh yeah, thanks, mate. Thanks again for you as well. You have been doing some great thing. Yep, we, as I mentioned, I'm part of Melbourne and Australia, and I'll be mostly actively in the LinkedIn, and I have an Azure Meetup group, which is called Azure Builders Melbourne Meetup, which we run it on 2 months once as part of the year, probably 5 times or 4 times, which we run it across within the Melbourne. It's an in-person one, and I'll be more active in the LinkedIn as well.
Okay, so it's an in-person event at Melbourne that you
Mostly,
just try to
yes.
organize like throughout the year. Okay, that's cool. How long you been an MVP for? It's curious.
This is my second time.
Okay.
Starting from January
Oh, so
2022.
you're in the same probably same year as me, the second year in the
Yes,
program. Yeah, it's similar year. Nice.
yes, this is my second year, and this time I got dual MVP on Azure networking plus the cloud security.
Nice. Brilliant. You
Yeah,
are you heading to the MVP summit in next year?
hopefully, man. I missed last year. Hopefully, I want to make
Okay.
this time. Since I'm at the other side of the world, I have to make a bigger travel to make it to the Seattle.
Yes, 27 hours probably. Yeah, I think
Yes,
we'll need that
exactly.
much. Yeah.
Exactly. That's correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So what do you normally do in your spare time, Santosh? Do you
Um,
normally, aside from community works and learn
yeah.
about Azure and stuff? Yeah.
Other than the community work, I'm mostly into cricket. I play cricket,
Yeah.
as most Indians do that.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah,
follow
sure.
cricket. Yeah, in addition to that, I've been started recently. Got injured in my arm has got injured. I cannot bowl anymore, so I transitioned myself into a cricket umpiring as part of Cricket Victoria within the state
Okay.
organization. So
So do you
just
just
trying to
work,
be closer to the cricket.
do you play cricket in a club, in a cricket club, or you just play
Yes,
with
yes,
friends?
yes. I was part of a club. Now I just got injured 2 years back. Cricket is no more in life, so I just want to be closer to the cricket. So I just converted myself into a official umpiring.
Okay, you just pair with
Yeah.
someone too.
Ye-
That's not bad. Yeah,
Correct.
I'm sure you
Yes.
will. I'm sure you probably go back to play cricket. It probably won't be
Oh,
temporary.
I want to be. Let's see how that works out.
Yeah, because where I'm from, I think there's a lot of England or UK. They love play cricket as well. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
cricket and
Yes.
football and stuff. Yeah.
Yes. Recently we had a match, right? India's England. The series was great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think India was playing something like football or cricket. I can't remember one of the sports previously.
Yeah.
So, are you going to any tech events later? Or are you going to
Uh,
Ignite?
not ignite this year for sure, but I'll be focusing on my MEP summit for the next year one, which I missed the previous one, so I don't want to miss the
Yeah.
second time. I'll be there.
Okay.
I'll see you in person.
Yeah. See you in person. Yeah,
Yes,
I think the registration is most likely will be Christmas time,
be
most
Christmas
likely.
time exactly.
Yeah, it's same like
Yes,
last year. Yeah.
yes. Yes.
Okay. No worries. Thanks for a lot to join this episode, Santosh. So I'm hope that thanks for sharing your knowledge about zero trust, and I hope other people learn more about zero trust and how important it is for using it and implementing in your organization because it's very crucial in for
Crucial.
remote working as well. So when people work remotely around the world,
Yeah,
it's very
yeah,
good to use zero trust.
yeah. Thanks, Nicholas. Thanks for having me. Hope everyone had some
No
information
worries.
out of me. Thank you.
No
Have a nice
worries.
day.
Thanks a
I'll
lot.
catch you again,
Bye.
man. Take care. Bye.